Rabbi Goldschmidt, thank you for joining us on the programme. Now, regarding the proposed Polish law, why is there such an outcry, given that the Nazis were responsible for the crimes, not occupied Poland?
In Israel, nobody is arguing that the death camps were created by the Germans or run by the Nazis. Nobody argues that. What they argue about is saying that Poland is saying none of the Polish people had any responsibility or collaborated with the Germans, with the Nazis during the war. Here, the Israelis and Jews, and especially survivors, have a problem, because we know of many stories of survivors from the Warsaw Ghetto leaving the ghetto, going into the woods and being killed by Polish partisans. And there are also, yes, it's true, many Polish people saved children, saved their neighbors, others denounced their neighbors, others took the money of their neighbors and then denounced them to the Germans. So there was collaboration, and there were always also beautiful stories of saving other people's lives. I would suggest to the Polish people to just establish a commission of truth, of eminent historians, to check the history of Poland during these dark hours of World War II, during the Holocaust.
It's arguable that the Poles could have done more, but it's not as if they were willing accomplices of the Nazis, and they had to survive themselves, didn't they?
I don't think that this is the argument here, that they could have done more, could have done less. The argument is that there are, like in other occupied countries, like in Holland and in France. In France, the police, the local police, worked together with the Germans to deport the Jews. In Holland also there was local collaboration. In Poland, Jews were killed in the villages where they lived, and there were also Poles who took part in it. So it's not a black and white story. Let's learn the story, and let's once come up with the truth. Passing laws to say you're not allowed to talk about this is not going to change the truth.
Now, regarding Netanyahu's remarks about rewriting history, don't you think that's going a little bit too far? No one here is denying the facts of the Holocaust.
Yes, I don't think that Netanyahu meant that the Polish people are trying to rewrite history. I think what he tried to say is that this history has a past, and it has to be like Switzerland. Years ago, when the scandal of the Swiss bank accounts of Holocaust victims came at front, so the Swiss created a commission of historians to check their part in this history of the Holocaust. And I think Poland can do the same.
Do you think that the two sides will be able to resolve this issue? And if so, how?
I think that once specialists and historians who know the history, they also, for example, I'll give you one other example. Right after the liberation of Poland, in the city of Jedwabne, and Jews came back from the concentration camp, there was a pogrom, and the Polish people killed the Jews who came back from the concentration camp. And this is after Germany disappeared. This is after the victory against Germany. So there is a history there. And I would like also to say that the Germans decided to put the death camps in Poland, and not in France, and not in Holland, and not even in Germany, for maybe a good reason.